Presidential election in Côte d'Ivoire, Ouattara is seeking a third term in a tense atmosphere. Ivorians began voting for a tense presidential election on Saturday, with incumbent Alassane Ouattara running for a controversial third term after a campaign of violence and boycotted by the opposition, which however maintained its candidates. The approximately 7.5 million voters, out of 25 million inhabitants, had the choice between four candidates: President Ouattara, 78, former President Henri Konan Bédié, 86, leader of the main opposition party Pascal Affi N'Guessan, 67, former Prime Minister of Laurent Gbagbo, and outsider Kouadio Konan Bertin, 51, independent. In this context of boycott, the turnout will be one of the challenges of the ballot. The polling stations must close at 6 p.m. The Electoral Commission has 5 days to announce the results. "We came to vote for the future of Côte d'Ivoire, for our children, so that they have a job," said Saka Coulibaly, a housewife, draped in colorful loincloths, at the Kennedy Siamak office of the popular district of Abobo, in Abidjan. Several hundred people lined up for the opening. The process was tense and fear overwhelmed the population. "It can affect the participation rate. Everyone has their opinion, but we must speak up. People must not die for an election," said Patrick Alou, 32, at the Notre Dame school office in the Plateau district, also in the economic capital. As in neighboring Guinea, where the re-election of President Alpha Condé for a contested third term sparked unrest that left some 20 people dead, the Ivorian opposition considers a third term unconstitutional and called on its supporters to civil disobedience. The election in Côte d'Ivoire, the world's largest cocoa producer, which has once again become the economic locomotive of French-speaking West Africa after 10 years of strong growth, raises fears of a new crisis in a region hit by incessant jihadist attacks in the Sahel, by a putsch in Mali, and a political protest at the neighboring Nigerian giant. About 30 people have died since August in protests that have turned into interethnic clashes in several cities across the country, and some 35,000 law enforcement personnel have been deployed to provide security at polling stations. All arrangements have been made to allow the population to vote in peace and tranquility, Security Minister Diomande Vegondo said Friday evening. "There will inevitably be incidents in areas of the opposition," qualifies however a security source. "Thousands of Ivorians have left big cities like Abidjan or Bouaké to return to their villages." Individuals blocked the country's main road between Abidjan and the north on Saturday morning, leading to Mali and Burkina Faso near Djeneboua, 350 kilometers north of Abidjan. No election without tension. Thousands of Ivorians left big cities like Abidjan and Bouaké to return to their villages before the election. Many fear a major crisis 10 years after the post-election crisis resulting from the 2010 presidential election, which left 3,000 dead, following the refusal of Laurent Gbagbo, who had been in power since 2000, to acknowledge his defeat to Alassane Ouattara. "There is no electoral period without tension," Ouattara said in an interview with AFP. "Why would it lack legitimacy? I wish I had Bédié and Affi N'Guessan to beat them again," added the president, who is aiming for a first-round victory and is building on his economic record. "There was no real campaign," estimates Sylvain N'Guessan, director of the Institute of Strategy of Abidjan. "Ouattara will be re-elected, but he lost his aura. He became an African president like the others, who clings to power." Two political heavyweights living abroad, former President Laurent Gbagbo, 75, and the former rebel leader and former Prime Minister Guillaume Soro, 48, have been disqualified by the Constitutional Council, to the great damn their supporters. Mr. Gbagbo emerged Thursday from 9 years of media silence to call for dialogue, on pain of disaster. "Anger, I understand it and I share it. Why do we want to do a third term? We must respect what we write, what we say. If we write one thing and do another, we are witnessing what is happening today," said Mr. Gbagbo, who is awaiting a possible appeal in Belgium before the International Criminal Court after being acquitted at first instance.